All right, so it's Friday. It's Gentle Kripalu Yoga. It's Judith here, and welcome all. Glad to see you're with us. We're getting off to a good start on Friday morning. I'm going to be letting people in as they approach, so bear with me on that, okay? All right. So, as you know, for this class, we ask, usually it's a good idea to have a yoga mat. And if you don't have a yoga mat, you can use a folded blanket, perhaps, or a beach towel on a padded surface for sure, because your knees will not appreciate doing it on a tile surface, on a wood surface. They really won't like that. I'll guarantee you that. So something there as a mat, and then maybe a couple of blocks. These are the styrofoam kind, which I think are preferable. The bamboo are very heavy. If you don't have blocks, you could use water bottles or canned goods of equal size and weight. I always have some padding available. I have a sticky mat here, a little squishy mat rather, and then a rolled up towel and rubber bands. That's my little fake bolster. And then a strap is always a wonderful thing to have. And you could take small pillows from the sofa or the bed. Use folded towels or blankets for softening purposes. And then if you don't have the traditional yoga strap, a scarf or a belt or a dog leash or a bathrobe tie would work as well. Optional would be hand weights. If you've reached a point where everything is just way too easy, you could add some hand weights. I'd say for this class, nothing heavier than 2 pounds. They also make 1-pounders, so you could have a set of 1-pounders or a set of 2-pounders for this class. I don't want anybody to lift heavier because, unless of course you're used to lifting it, but I would recommend 2 pounds only, just so nobody gets hurt, overzealous and then gets hurt. And then the chair is always a lovely idea. This is a standard metal kind of folding chair. You can use it to get down, up and down off of the mat if that's an issue. So very quickly, I've got my chair on the sticky mat. You might also, another version of doing this would be putting the legs up against where the wall meets the floor or the baseboard. So that chair will not move when you start pressing your weight on the chair seat. So I've got my hands halfway along the edge of the chair. Most of the weight will be in the arms, bend one knee, float it down. And then you can add a second knee when you're on the earth. To get back up, it's the same idea. You can grab the sides, maybe forearms to the seat. Maybe if you need to assist a leg forward, assist a leg forward. And then you tuck those back toes. Again, the weight is in the arms, most of it. Inhale, exhale, lift the bum up. 1 foot under the seat, 2nd foot under the seat. You can grab the back of the chair to ascend so that you don't get a head rush or get dizzy. So that's the idea of using the chair, getting up and down off of the floor. So let's just start by standing today. And the toes will be pointing out about 30 degrees. Maybe I'd say shoulder width apart. And let's just start circling some hips here. And also as we circle those hips, just start focusing the attention on the breathing. So if you can gather big, deep, full breaths as you inhale. So you're really filling those lungs to capacity, all the way down to the bottom lobes. And then pausing at the top, and then exhaling fully and completely, pausing at the bottom. You know, it could be that exhale might be slightly longer than the inhale. So you make sure you squeeze out all the stale air, chi, oxygen, etc. Let's go the other direction. Big inhales. Big complete exhales. Swirling those hips as though you're on the inside of a barrel, touching each point on the inside of that barrel. And pausing at any spot along the way that feels dark or painful or sticky or tight. And let's just corkscrew back to center now, nice and easy. Some shoulder rolls. Tend to the upper body, just get some shoulders involved here. And maybe you'd like to keep those arms neutral, but maybe those arms want to Expand out like little wings. That feels appropriate. Big full breaths. Couple more. Forward, up, back, and down. Oh. Sighing, moaning, groaning, as you know, is an option. Let's reverse the circling of those shoulders. Back up, forward, and down. Oh, I'm going to add some arms in here. You choose what works for you. Big full breaths for 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Let's take the arms out to the side. Big inhale up, exhale down. Arms float up overhead. And exhale down. Nice and easy. Big stretches to the sky. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Last one. Keep the arms up. And here we're just climbing an imaginary rope. See if you don't have to look at the sky for this because we know there's no rope really up there. But you want to keep the back of the neck long. As you stretch those fingers to the sky, you're giving a tug to the intercostal muscles that attach to the side ribs. You're grounding through the 4 corners of each foot. And you're taking those deep, full breaths for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Let's take those hands back up to the sky. Interlace the fingers this time. Palms will go up to the sky, drop shoulders away. And now grounding through those feet. See if you can just keep the motion confined to the arms. If you're not lurching, just see if you can stay grounded as you just press those fingers, those palms up towards the sky, giving the fingers a nice stretch here. And you're remembering that LSD breath, long, slow, and deep. Yes, yes. Let's go the other way. Nice big inhales, full complete exhales. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Let's unfold those fingers, unlace them, and float the arms down like they're floating through honey. Let's take that right foot a little bit slightly farther forward and just start circling the arm here. Now, if the arm doesn't get up that high, you're just going to go to your optimum height, whatever that might be this morning. Just getting some synovial fluid moving in that shoulder girdle. And that doesn't happen until we move the joint. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go the other way now. This may be a different experience. Breathing for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bringing that down to stillness, just shake out that arm. Let's take the left foot slightly farther forward. Nice big inhale with that right arm. This may be a different experience on this side. Maybe there's more range of motion on this side, maybe less. But you're just noticing, no self-judgment here, just observing what the body is willing to do. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now we're going to go the other way. Nice big circles as best you can, or modify, of course, always modify. Big full breaths. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. And just take those arms and swing them from side to side. Let's just shift the weight from side to side. The feet are nice and wide, maybe a little wider than shoulder distance. Breathing. We'll do a Qigong movement here. It's called banging the temple drum. So the arms don't touch the body. So what's going to happen is that one arm goes in front and one arm goes in back. So you have to decide how you're going to organize that. And it's like you're banging the temple drum with that forward arm each time. For 4, big full breaths. 3, 2, and 1. And let's bring that down a little bit now and just start a little twist here, just waking up the spine. So just see if you can keep the feet planted to begin with. and see how much of a twist the spine is willing to submit to. And then once you get the turning, then maybe you want to shift the heels and lift the heels, or maybe you don't. And then start tapping those internal organs. The front of the torso and the hand in the back goes up slightly higher under those shoulder blades. That's where the kidneys are nestled. So just give them a tap there. So we're bringing fresh blood stimulation to those organs that work 24/7. Let's do 4. 3, remember to look over the shoulders. 2, and 1. Very nice. And then just coming back, corkscrewing back to center, nice and easy. Now I'm going to grab some blocks. You don't have any, don't panic. You can just make soft fists with the hands. And for this particular one, if you have no blocks, you might want to face the seat of the chair. You have a chair there, so you could use your chair seat as in lieu of the blocks. So let's extend the arms out to the side. We're going to slide the ribs over to the right, come back to center, slide the ribs over to the left, sliding from side to side now. So you're isolating the movement, confining it to the torso. The arms are fixed, really. They're not really moving. It's the torso that initiates this movement. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And coming back to center now, little teeter-totter. Again, arms don't move, it's just the torso. Getting some movement there, some flexibility in the center of the body. That horizontal meridian, which contains all those vital organs. Breathing for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Let's come back to center. Nice big inhale. Exhale, halfway down with a flat back. Now your hair halfway down. Imagine there's a strap around your hips, pulling you to the wall behind. Crown of head stretches forward, so you have opposition stretching going on there. The abdominals are engaged, of course, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the arms down, triple slow time to the earth. I'm keeping my blocks on the tall setting. And I'm going to heel toe my feet out just a little bit wider. You decide what comes to a nice stable base. So try to have a nice wide base here. If it's too narrow, it just becomes awkward. So I've got my hands on the blocks. Maybe your hands reach the earth. Inhale, bend the knees track over toes, little baby squats here. Exhale, straighten the legs, come into that forward fold. Inhale, bend the legs. Exhale, forward fold. Breathing and exhaling. Big full breaths. Warming up the hips, warming up the groins. Oh, maybe this is a good spot for moaning and groaning. Feel free. We'll do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's stay down on 1. Little pulses here. So you're pulsing those little hips down towards the earth. Try not to let the head dangle. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's keep the knees bent. Let's take right forearm to right thigh. You're still bending forward. And then from here, we're going to just shift over to the right hip. Maybe you want to lift those left toes. Maybe you need to adjust the width of the feet. And you're going to pulse into this right hip, little tiny pulses for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Glide through center now. Left forearm comes to left thigh. Maybe the right toes want to come up off the earth, but the heel stays grounded. And you're tracking left knee over left set of toes for 8, 7, big stretch for the adductors, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center, nice and easy. Hands can return to the floor or blocks. And let's just heel toe the feet together or step the feet together. You choose what works for you. I'll do this in profile. We'll do a series of flat back lifts here. So the hands will come to the ankles. Inhale, hands drag up the shins, stopping halfway, flat back. You could serve tea, no spills. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Lifting and folding. Lifting and folding. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze those abdominals, navel to spine. Inhale, stay halfway up here. Hands can come to hips now. Elbows point to sky. And grounding through those feet as you stack the bones. Coming to standing, stacking bones, stacking bones, stacking bones. Roll the shoulders when you get up here to the top. Nice and easy. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and we'll put the blocks to one side. I'm going to grab the chair here and we'll do some work on the feet. So you could do this facing the wall as well, but a chair I think is preferable. So for this one, we'll start. The feet are in parallel, they're directly underneath the hips. And you're going to take the right foot back. So both sets of toes are still pointing forward. And you're going to start lifting and lowering that back heel. So I've got the left foot forward, the right foot is back, and the torso stays relatively upright for this. So inhale, lift that back right heel. Exhale, press it into the earth. I'm not mirroring you. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, stay up on 1. Keep that back heel lifted on 1. And we're going to keep the torso upright. Now both knees are going to bend in tandem slightly. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. The back heel will always stay lifted. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, stay down on 1, little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay down now in the optimum baby squat here. You're going to tilt the torso forward, maybe 20 degrees, maybe 30 degrees. You decide what's appropriate. Maybe one arm wants to come forward, maybe not. Or maybe a second arm wants to come forward, but maybe not. Breathing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. One hand comes down, second hand comes down. Now you're going to go all the way over and grab the sides of the seat of the chair and come into a bird dog formation here. You're going to float the right leg. You're going to flex the right foot. Inhale, bend the right knee. Exhale, straighten the leg. For 4, 3, 2, 1. You bend that knee, pump that foot up to the sky like you're stamping your foot on the ceiling. For 8, 7, 6. It's okay to say ow. 5, 4, 3, 2, and one. You straighten the leg, point the toe, the right leg is extended, maybe the left arm can come forward, but maybe not. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hand comes down, leg comes down, micro bend the knees, left and right. Oh, I don't know about you, but my left butt cheek is humming, really humming. And then bringing the legs to stillness, you can take the back of the chair and stack yourself nice and easy, upright, nice and gentle. This time, let's take the right foot forward. The left foot comes back. I'm not mirroring you for this, all right? So you're gonna lift and lower that back left heel. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press, and the torso stays upright for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You lift that back left heel. Now both knees are going to bend slightly. Torso still stays upright. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay down on 1. Little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to come back up, straighten the legs. You're going to tilt the torso over maybe 20 to 30 degrees. You're going to grab the sides of the seat of the chair. You're going to float the left leg. Flex the left foot. That pelvis is square to the narrow end of the mat. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten for 4, 3, 2, 1. We bend that knee, pump the sole of the foot like you're stamping your foot on the ceiling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten left leg, straighten the right leg. So the left leg is extended. Maybe you can extend the right arm for bird dog. This is a modified warrior 3 for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arm comes down, leg comes down. Micro bend those knees left and right. Maybe saying ow or whatever, letting out sighs, moans, and groans. And then bringing the legs to stillness. Just taking the back of the chair and floating the torso up, triple slow time, avoiding the head rush. Let's go ahead and take the heels together in first position. So the toes point out 30 to 40 degrees. And you're going to face the back of your chair one more time. You can take fingers or hands on the back of the chair. Inhale, lift on the tippy toes, lifting up. Exhale, press the heels back down to earth. Inhale, lift. Exhale, straighten, flatten for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay lifted on 1. All right. Now here you find a drishti point, a point that doesn't move, a spot that doesn't move. It could be on the floor, it could be on the wall in front of you. Maybe you're going to lift one arm. The heels are still lifted. Maybe you want to lift a second arm. Drop shoulders away from the ears. Balance challenge for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. One hand comes down, second hand comes down. Float those heels down. Finally, and just shake out the feet and the legs, whatever you need to do. And since we do a little bit more for the feet, we're going to lift the right heel and just start circling that ankle. So the motion is initiated from the ankle joint. You're standing tall on that supporting left leg. And we're just trying to get some strength and flexibility in those feet and ankles, which will help with fall prevention, hopefully. And then we're going to reverse the circling of that right ankle. So just staying calm and relaxed, staying lifted through the crown of the head, and then bringing that foot and heel down back to earth. We're going to lift the left heel now and do the same thing. We're going to circle the ankles. Nice and easy. Breathing. And then going the other way. You're standing tall on the supporting right leg. Imagine the head like a helium balloon. It's floating up towards the sky. A golden thread attached to that helium balloon, drawing you upward. Nice and easy. And presuming you've gone in both directions, let's bring that foot down to stillness. Shake it out. Shake it out. Very nice. We're going to take the chair off to one side here for now. And I'm going to come to the narrow end of the mat. Again, I'm not going to mirror you for this, all right? So I'm going to take a giant step forward with the right foot. And that both sets of toes point forward. If you need more stability, that back foot could angle out slightly. You decide, but the idea is to keep the hips square to that narrow end of the mat. We're moving to warrior one. So maybe those arms will come up. Maybe they won't. For more stability, you could be near a wall, or you could put your hands on that front thigh. Options. Breathing. Couple of breaths here. That right knee is stacked over the right heel. The back left heel is lifted, maybe. Both sets of toes are pointing forward. Shoulders drop away from ears. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's come tilting forward one more time here and just sweep the arms back behind you and maybe interlace the fingers, but maybe not. Maybe you just want to keep the arms parallel. Try not to scrunch up the back of the neck. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Unwinding out of it. Back heel now comes down to 45 degrees. And we're moving into warrior 2. Okay, front arm, you're looking down the middle finger of the right hand. That back arm is behind you. It's as though the body is pressed between 2 panes of glass here. And you're breathing. Strong warrior here, Virabhadrasana 2. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's just slide forward, just like we did at the beginning. Slide the rib cage forward, come back to center, slide it back. So you're basically moving that rib cage to initiate the movement. It may not be a big movement, no matter. It's also a balance challenge. One more time, forward and back. Come back to center now. That right knee is still stacked over the right heel. And see if you can get a little circle going with those hips here. This is a challenge. The circle may not be big, but you're getting a nice movement in the pelvis, in the hips, and then you're going to go the other way. Nice and easy. And let's bring that back to center. So you're back to warrior 2. Right forearm comes to right thigh. And maybe that top left arm comes up to the sky. If the top left arm is too much, fingertips to shoulder, maybe. Or hand to sacrum as you roll the shoulder and look over that shoulder to the wall behind you. Breathing. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up. And just do a little dancing warrior here. The left hand slides down the back of the left leg. That right forearm returns to that front right thigh. And you're keeping that chest and pelvis square to that long end of the mat. So those top ribs get a nice stretch, a nice tug. A couple more, it's like your little seaweed plant in the ocean. And you're just moving with the current, with the tide. And now we come back to center, nice and easy. Let's straighten that front right leg. We'll take both sets of toes to the long side of the mat. Inhale, exhale, coming forward, forward, forward. Oh boy, yes. So if the hands don't hit the earth, maybe they come to blocks. In the seat of the chair, let's shake the head yes, and shake the head no. Maybe some Mr. Ed lips here. Maybe a little shifting from side to side with the legs. Just to stretch out that low back. Breathing. A couple of breaths here. You might want to shift from side to side. Maybe it's just a static press. And then coming back to center, one hand to each thigh. The back will stay flat as you lift up, 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 up. Slowly, slowly, elevator ascending, rolling the shoulders, stepping the feet together and just shaking everything out. Let's do a little bouncing before we do the other side. So here you can have the feet directly under the hips. And you're just lifting the heels and you're just doing a little meditation and motion here. And you can move in any way you would like. A little free form here, moving the chi, the blood, the oxygen all throughout the system, getting everything back to neutral, hopefully. Big full breaths. And let's bring that back down to stillness. Oh, yes. Now we're going to go to the narrow end of the mat one more time. This time I'm taking the left foot and a giant step forward. It's as though each foot is on its own railroad track. Both sets of toes point forward, unless you feel more stable with the toes slanting outwards slightly on that back foot. And see if you can get the hips squared to that narrow end of the mat. The left knee stacks over the left heel. The back right heel stays lifted. Maybe one arm comes up, maybe it doesn't. Maybe a second arm comes up, maybe it doesn't. You're breathing. Settling in now to this warrior one, fingers reaching to the sky, pelvis square to that narrow end of the mat. Inhale, exhale, we're going to tilt forward slightly, maybe 20, 30 degrees. Maybe the arms come back behind you, interlaced. If you're interlacing the fingers, see if you can do it the awkward way this time, different thumb on top. Breathing for 4, 3, 2, 1, straightening up, releasing any fingers that were intertwined. Back heel comes back down now at an angle. The front toes still point toward that narrow end of the mat. And it's like the body is sandwiched between 2 panes of glass. The left knee is stacked over the left heel. You're looking down the middle finger of that left hand, breathing. Let's take a few LSD breaths here, long, slow, and deep. Big full breath, settling into your warrior 2, rather. And here we're going to move the torso again, forward and back. See if you can keep everything in the same plane as we are when we're still. That's a challenge. Breathing side to side. Nice and gentle. Let's come back to center now and circle the hips here. Maybe. It could be a different experience on this side. And you're circling. Let's go the other direction with the circles. And then we're going to corkscrew back to center here. Left forearm comes to left thigh. Top right arm comes to the sky. Or maybe fingertips to shoulder. Maybe hand to sacrum. You decide what works for you. For 4, 3, 2, 1, coming back to center. Dancing warrior, sliding that right hand down the back side of the right leg. Coming forward, left forearm to left thigh. And you're that seaweed plant one more time. Just flowing with the current. Big full breaths. Moving the chi throughout the body, life force. One more time. Going forward. And then back to neutrals. Warrior two. Straighten the front left leg. Both sets of toes point to that long end of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, going forward, forward, forward. One more time. Into a wide legs. Standing forward fold. Shake the head yes. Shake the head no. Maybe Mr. Ed Lips here. Maybe not. Get those facial muscles involved. And then coming back to center. Let's come on up, hands to hips, elbows point to sky, crown of head leads, hips draw to the wall behind you as you stand up, stacking the bones, and then rolling the shoulders a couple of times forward and back. Okay, let's take the blocks to the narrow end of the mat so we know where they are. Maybe you want to grab a drink of water. Good idea. And you're going to face that narrow end of the mat now. Nice big inhale. And let's just float the arms down here. We're not going to go forward fold yet. Let's take the hands in soft fists and just take those fists and just place them like right above where the waistline might be. So you're very close to those kidneys now, and I'm going to show here. So you might want to make little circular motions, either with the thumbs, but not on the spine, directly next to the spine. Maybe little circles with those fists, those soft fists, and getting some blood flow going into that area, which can get nice and tight, nice and sticky, and cranky and crabby. So we're going to send some blood flow into this area of the low back. It's a nice steady pressure. It's not a death press, just a nice steady pressure. And then we'll bring that to stillness. Shake out those arms, just shake them out. Like you're shaking them right here from that top connection in the shoulders. Nice and easy. And then bringing everything to stillness, nice big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. And let's walk the hands forward, step the feet back into your down dog. Maybe you can do a modified dog facing the feet of the chair. Hands or forearms could be in the chair, and narrow stance with the legs. And just bicycle pedaling the heels left and right here. Trying to get the chest close to the tops of the thighs. Here you can let the head hang like a 15-pound bowling ball, stretching out the spine, creating space, more room for the discs, for the vertebra, for those electrical highways that move throughout the body to stay open and flowing. Let's bring the feet to stillness and let's just float those knees down to the earth. Nicely kneeling here on the earth, big toes together, knees wide apart. This is where I roll the towel behind my knees, so there's a little more space to get the bum pressed back towards the heels. Before you press the bum all the way back towards those heels, just slip the top of the right foot into the arch of the left foot, and then press your hips back. Very mindfully, getting a deep press for that left foot on the bottom. If your head doesn't come to the mat, maybe stacked palms, stacked fists, maybe the forehead on a low block. And then just allow that body to melt into the earth here. Dropping into a quiet space inside. Noticing heart beating, blood flowing, chi moving throughout the system. Couple of breaths here. And then coming halfway out of your child pose, reversing the feet so the top of the left foot nestles into the arch of the right foot, And then you press those feet back into the earth. Oh boy. Maybe there's a little pelvic circle here, the pelvic floor. If you're circling the pelvic floor, it's very small movement, not huge. And then reverse your circling. And then bringing that motion to stillness. Let's focus on the back body. Inhaling, lower back, middle back, upper back. Noticing that pause at the top. Exhaling, upper back, middle back, lower back. Noticing the pause at the bottom. Inhale one more time. Inhale, lower back, middle back, upper back. Noticing the silence at the top. Exhaling, upper back, middle back, lower back. Noticing the silence at the bottom. Nice and easy. Come slightly farther forward and fold the feet so that both tops of the feet are now pressing into the earth. You're still in your child's pose. You're going to walk the hands on the earth to the left. And maybe taking that right hand slightly farther forward than the left. As you press the right hip away on the diagonal, then we have a nice ginormous stretch on that right side of the body. Ooh-wee. Maybe micro movements here might feel yummy, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a static press. And then coming back to center, walking the hands on the earth over on the right on the earth. Maybe the left hand goes slightly farther forward than the right. And then the left hip presses away on the diagonal, so you have another ginormous stretch now on the left side of the body. Oh, yeah. Breathing. Couple of breaths here. And then coming back to center. Slowly, slowly, slowly finding your way to neutral table. Here's where you might want to pad your knees, just to be kind to your knees, since they don't last forever. And here, instead of just going to neutral table, let's just take the hands into the upper left corners of the narrow end of the mat. And we'll start circling those hips slowly. So maybe you want to go all the way back to a child's pose while you're circling, but maybe it's only part of the way. Just see how much the body is willing to go, how far it's willing to go. And then reversing your circling at some point. And of course, abdominals are engaged. No abdominals on the mat, please. Oh boy. Woo-hoo. Nice and easy. And then that's coming back to center, nice to neutral table. Now it's hips over knees, shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists, fingers spread wide. Nice big inhale, drop the belly, spread the sits bones wide. Exhale, arch and squeeze like a Halloween cat. Inhale, drop and squeeze. Sorry, and now we're squeezing as we go up. Inhale, drop the belly, spread sits bones wide. Exhale, arch and squeeze one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Very nice. Returning to neutral table, finding your way now to being seated on the earth, on your mat. I will face you so you can see. No rush to get there. Let's just start with the soles of the feet together, but the legs are long to start. So you have a nice diamond shape with the legs. You might want to pull flesh away from the sits bones to get a more stable connection to the earth. And you're going to float the arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale with a flat back, tilting over those legs. Here you could let the head hang if that feels appropriate, but not if it puts a strain on the back of the neck. Really imagine that the crown of the head is being pulled forward by some imaginary force, and you're rooting down through those sits bones. Let's take the left hand outside of the right ankle. Keeping the legs exactly the same, left hand outside of right ankle, right hand wraps around the back of the body. Maybe the hand will only want to go to the sacrum, that's fine. Or maybe the fingers slip into that opposite left hip crease. You decide. You can say hello to your right knee and thigh, and you're looking over that right shoulder for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unwinding out of it, but staying in the forward fold. Now it's the right hand outside of the left ankle. Right hand outside of left ankle. The left arm sweeps around behind. Maybe it goes to the sacrum. Pause there. Maybe the fingers go to the opposite hip crease on the right. Maybe they don't. You can say hello to your left knee and thigh. You're looking over the left shoulder to the wall behind you. Big full breaths for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unwinding, staying in that forward fold for just a bit now. Both hands can come back to the earth, and you can walk yourself back upright. Triple slow time, no rush to get there. Let's keep soles of the feet together, and now we're going to draw them closer to the body, to the torso. This is Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. And maybe your knees drop to the earth immediately if you're a Gumby person. Mine do not, so I like to tuck the elbows into the soft part of the thigh, not the knee joint, and just rock from side to side to open up those hips. Nice and gentle, sitting tall as best you can. Shoulders drop away. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Let's take the knees back close together now. And just stretch the legs out and windshield wiper those legs. Just let them flip-flop for a bit. And now let's go ahead and take the hands behind the body. The fingers can point away to the wall behind you. And see if you can again sit up nice and tall. You might want to sit on a folded blanket just to get that pelvic fold lifted. So flex the feet here and then point the toes. Flexing, and then as you point the toes, spread them wide as well. So you're trying to get as much space between each of those toes as available. Couple more flexing and pointing, deep full breaths. And let's circle the ankles now. Again, try not to race through it, just try to feel every bit of that motion. And then you're going to go the other way. Breathing. And then let's bring all of that to stillness. Let's go ahead and just now bend the right knee. And we're going to cross that right foot outside of the left leg. Now, if the foot doesn't stay flat when you take it over the leg, just keep it on the inside of the leg. So you decide what works for you. And maybe here again, pulling flesh away from sits bones. So you're going to embrace that bent right knee with your left arm. And you're going to take the right hand and you're going to follow the horizon with those fingers until you twist no farther. You're going to come to your optimum twist, not your maximum. And we're going to go ahead and just slightly release this bent knee. Inhale, slightly release, and then exhale, squeeze and turn, looking over that right shoulder. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze and turn. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Let's unwind out of that twist and just keeping the ankle right where it is, which is on the thigh, not the knee joint. You're going to drop the right bent knee off to the side. And with your right hand, just do little pulses, sitting tall. Again, trying to get more synovial fluid into the hips and the pelvis. Get really tight and stiff in that low back area in the pelvis. Too much sitting and driving. punching over computers, etc., etc. You know the drill. And let's bring that little pump to stillness. You're going to take the right forearm, slip it under the right calf, and with your other hand grab the foot, and you're going to rock the baby. Rock your baby. I've been carrying you around for quite some time. So we say thank you to our legs. And you might want to circle here, or maybe it's just side to side that feels the best. You determine that. If you circle, make sure you go in both directions. And then bringing that to stillness, unfold that leg. With the right forearm, just take it behind the back of the right thigh, not the knee. You're going to flex this right foot. Inhale, knee bends. Exhale, straighten the leg for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time. Put it down, nice and easy. Shake it out. Windshield wiper those legs one more time. Sitting tall, try not to collapse with the torso, the shoulders. And then bringing the legs to stillness, bending the left knee. The foot stays flat here. The right foot stays flexed so that this leg is active. And maybe you can cross that foot over to the outside of the right leg, but maybe not. If it's not flat, just keep it on the inside. Okay? So you're going to embrace that bent left knee with your right arm. The left hand is going to follow the horizon with your fingertips here until you twist into the left. And you come to a sticking point, and there you stop. That hand comes down by that hip, that left hip. And what we're going to do is slightly release that bent knee, slightly release. Inhale, exhale, squeeze and turn, navel to spine. Inhale, slightly release. Exhale, squeeze and turn. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unwind out of this twist. This left ankle stays on top of the right thigh, not the knee joint. The top foot is flexed. The left forearm slips under the left calf, and you rock the other baby. So here again, it could be side to side. That feels perfectly lovely. But maybe you want to try circling in both directions. Either way. You're still getting synovial fluid in there. Then let's bring that to stillness. Let's go ahead and unwind that leg. Left forearm comes behind the back of the left thigh, not the knee joint. You're still sitting tall. That right foot is still flexed. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. And place everything down and then just shake everything out. Windshield wiper those legs one more time. I'm going to face my narrow end of the mat. Feet are hip distance apart, parallel. Toes pointing forward, lifting chest, shoulders drop away from ears. Inhale forward, exhale back and squeeze, navel to spine. Inhale forward, exhale back and squeeze. One more, inhale forward, and now you're going to lay that spine down like a string of pearls on the earth. And when you finally arrive, flat on your back, on the earth, crown of head still lines up with tailbone. The knees are drawn into the chest. And maybe it's just a little rocking side to side to massage that entire back body. Maybe it's circulating those knees either in tandem or in opposition. And if you do the circling, make sure you circle in both directions. And let's bring that to stillness now. Arms can come into a T position on the earth. Let's stand those legs up into the sky. You can just take the inner edges of the feet together. And you can use your hands, palms down on the earth for support. Inhale, you're going to squeeze abdominals and just drop those legs over to the left until you come to a point where if you don't stop, you will flop over. So you're going to go to your optimum, inhaling, squeezing it, exhaling. Drop the legs over to the right, squeezing. And back to center. Inhale. Back to center, exhale. Inhale. And exhale, side to side. Inhale. And exhale, using your hands to help you. Your arms, inhale. One more time, each side, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, back to center. Let's take the arms parallel to the legs up. And palms face the feet. So you're going to flex the feet and the wrists. And you're going to point the feet and the wrists. So you're flexing and pointing. If you want to add circling, you can do that too. Oh, yeah. And then just shake everything out. Really just shake it out. Very, very nice. Oh. And then bringing that to stillness, rebend the knees. Let's splay the knees out one more time. You can grab the ankles or the shins with your hands, but the weight of the forearms just open up that pelvic area. The feet dangle in the air, they're not on the earth. The back of the neck is long. And then as we lie here, just imagine that belly inhaling, expanding like a balloon. Inhale. And then belly collapsing. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Hands come to knees, close them together, and straighten one leg along on the mat. Straighten the second leg along on the mat. Arms and legs come now to 30 to 45 degrees into our favorite pose, Shavasana, resting pose. Yes, corpse pose. So if you have a cranky low back, you might want to roll a towel or roll a blanket underneath the knees to protect the low back. If the leg straight doesn't work for you, you could bend the knees, mat distance apart with the feet, and then knock the knees together. So you have a little tent-like restorative rest pose going on. Or you could roll on one side and stack the legs and rest your head either on the upper arm or on a block or a small cushion. Maybe it's legs up the wall. Maybe the lower legs can rest on the seat of the chair while the rest of the body is on the earth. That's a really delicious way to do your Shavasana. So you decide what works for you. And once you get the arms and the legs organized, just allow the eyes to drop closed, scan the body, noticing the effects of the practice, and to breathe into any areas that might have any residual tension. And just breathe that away. And now you can imagine deep relaxation moving into the soles of the feet, as though you're just inserting those feetsies into a hot tub. Oh, yeah. And then that relaxation goes in over the feet and the ankles. And then it moves into the lower legs, enveloping the calves and the shins. Deep relaxation moves into the knees, permeating all the complex joints of the knees, and then into the thighs, so that the legs and the feet become very, very heavy. The deep relaxation moves into the pelvis, the hips, the buttocks, the low back releases. It moves into the belly and the waist, and moves into the torso, enveloping ribs, heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, pancreas, spleen. All those vital organs deeply relaxed. It moves into the chest and rolls down both arms, all the way to the fingertips, all the way to the fingertips. It envelops the throat and the neck, and then it envelops the head, all the way to the crown of the head. The back of the neck releases. The face and the jaw let go. The tongue lies at the bottom of the mouth, teeth slightly apart. Eyes sink deep into the skull, as though a white circle of healing light envelops the entire body. Noticing back body and front body, right side and left side. Noticing the earth below supporting you, the stars, the moon, the galaxies far above. Noticing the space you've created inside the body and the space around the body. Noticing the whole body together, the whole body together, the whole body together. And as you rest here in Shavasana, here's a small quote from Pema Chodron from her book, The Places That Scare You. It's about having a fresh start. We can acknowledge, forgive, and start anew. If we practice this way little by little, we'll learn to abide with the feeling of regret for having hurt ourselves and others. We will also learn self-forgiveness. Eventually, at our own speed, we'll even find our capacity to forgive those who have done us harm. We will discover as a natural expression of the open heart, an expression of our basic goodness. This potential is inherent in every moment. Each moment is an opportunity to make a fresh start. If you'd like to remain here in Shavasana for as long as feels right, please feel free to do that. Stay right there. But if you're ready to greet the day, begin to bring gentle movement to fingers and toes and arms and legs. And as you are ready, drawing the knees into the chest, giving yourself a well-deserved hug. And then rolling onto your favorite side and pausing there for just a few breaths in embryo posture. And on the next inhale, keeping the eyes closed, press yourself up into a comfortable seated posture, rooting the sits bones down into the earth, drawing the crown of the head up into the sky, scanning the body for the effects of the practice, and thanking the body for all it does all day, every day, and bringing to mind one thing for which you are grateful. And on the next inhale, let's float the palms up overhead, hands meet in prayer, dropping down the midline, stopping at the heart, Samastiti. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May you know peace. I salute the bright light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Jai Bhagwan.